Let's keep going to check some other components from the back of the range. Unplug range or disconnect power. Remove the lower back access cover by removing 6 mounting screws. Check the oven sensor for 1000 to 1200 ohms resistance at room temperature between Con 3-9 and Con 3-10. Also check that the oven sensor is not shorted to ground by testing for infinite resistance from each wire of the sensor to the sensor body. To remove the sensor, remove 2 screws that mount the sensor. Pull the sensor out from the back of the oven. Checking the oven light. Check for 0 to 40 ohms resistance across terminals Con 1-1 and Con 1-5. If this check fails, change the oven light. Open the oven door and locate the oven light on the rear oven wall's upper right-hand corner. Remove the light cover. Remove the light bulb. Check the door position switch. With the door closed, check for 0 resistance across Con 3-3 and Con 3-4. Open the door and check for infinite resistance at the same terminals. If this test fails, replace the door position switch. Remove 2 Phillips head screws to remove the remaining rear access panel. Locate the door position switch on the left side of the access area. Remove wire connections from the back of the switch. Squeeze retainer clips on each side of the switch housing. Push switch through mounting panel. Do not let it drop. There is room to reach in and remove the position switch activation rod. This switch is controlled by opening and closing the oven door. Remove the switch. We've tested everything except the door latch switch and the latch motor, so let's finish up with that. From the back of the range, check across terminals Con 3-1 and Con 3-4 of the oven control board. There will be infinite resistance if the door is unlatched, not in a self-clean cycle. It might be easier to check at the switch location. Remove 1 wire from the latch switch. Check across the terminals of the switch for infinite resistance. Depress the switch tab and measure across the same terminals for 0 ohms resistance. This switch provides a logic circuit to assure the oven control that it is safe to operate a self-clean cycle. It is controlled by the movement of the latch motor. Remove wire connections to the switch and the latch motor. The door latch switch sits on top of the latch motor and is riveted to the latch assembly. It must be replaced with the door latch motor. One more test, the latch motor. We need to check the latch motor at the Con 1-1 to Con 1-4 terminals for 500 to 3000 ohms resistance. If this test fails, replace the latch motor. Remove wire connections to the latch motor and the latch switch. Remove 2 Phillips head screws. The operation of this motor locks the oven door during a self-clean cycle. Let's look at how to access the inner oven components. Open the oven door. Locate and move the 2 door hinge stops to the open position.